I believe in America. America has made my fortune.
A midnight shock rocks Silicon Valley. Trump slaps a $100,000 price tag on every H-1B worker. Renewals frozen, families in limbo, global tech on edge. Is this about protecting American jobs or tearing up the world's talent pipeline? The future of innovation just collided with the politics of power. I believe in America. America has made my fortune. This is the famous line from the much celebrated film The Godfather's opening scene. But starting September 21st, 2025, that fortune and opportunity come at a staggering cost. Every H-1B worker will now pay $100,000 annually just to enter the United States. President Donald Trump's sweeping policy shakes Silicon Valley to its core, putting visa renewals, international travel, and global tech careers into immediate uncertainty. At 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time on September 21st, 2025, the new rule takes effect, representing one of the steepest immigration fees in US history. The administration frames it as a necessary step to curb what it describes as the overuse of the H-1B program, ensuring only the most exceptional foreign workers are admitted.
And one of the biggest problems we have is that people, they go to the best schools and they do great and they get great marks, and then they're thrown out of the country. You're not allowed to stay. This way, a corporation will be able, sort of like a signing bonus in baseball or football, a corporation will be able to get them to stay in the country. And
you're very close to the technology
Yeah.
CEOs. Are they concerned about that?
I think they're going to be very happy. Everyone's going to be happy. And we're going to be able to keep people in our country that are going to be very productive people. And in many cases, these companies are going to pay a lot of money for that. And they're very happy about it. It was a dead country. Look, we were a dead country a year ago, and now we're the most successful. Okay, my friend, why don't you keep that, okay?
Thank you.
That's such a good job. Okay. It's phase one. John, are you happy? Pitch.
So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here, $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. The country would rather not have to pay $100,000, but and they'd rather. How do you do that? You hire Americans. So there's an incentive to hire American, but there may be instances where it's better off doing it through expertise or whatever it may be. But they're both unbelievable, whether it's a gold card or anything else that we talked about today.
The policy introduces several sweeping changes. H-1B entries limited to 12 months. Employers pay $100,000 per worker annually. Current visa holders face renewal and travel uncertainty. Exemptions for national interest cases reviewed individually. The Trump administration also unveiled a gold card pathway, offering fast-track residency and processing for individuals willing to pay $1 million or more, marketed as a method to attract elite investors and top-tier talent. The announcement triggered immediate concern across the technology sector. Multinational corporations, industry associations, and labour advocates all highlighted the disruption this policy could create for global talent pipelines. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs said in a statement,
"The full implications of the proposed US H-1B restrictions are being studied, including by the Indian industry. Skilled talent mobility has driven innovation, economic growth, and strong people-to-people ties between India and the US. We hope any disruptions for families are suitably addressed."
Workers themselves face uncertainty. Those who had booked flights or were waiting for visa stamps are now in limbo. Individuals currently in the US are hesitant to travel abroad, fearing they may not be able to return without employers paying the steep fee. Even international tech communities expressed alarm. Associations representing companies that rely heavily on skilled immigration called the fee unprecedented, warning of delayed projects and operational disruptions. In countries with significant numbers of H-1B applicants, such as India, the Philippines, and parts of Europe, stakeholders are closely monitoring how the policy will affect workforce mobility and planning. While these mentions are secondary, they underscore that this is not only an American domestic issue, it has global economic implications. The $100,000 fee is not merely a visa cost. It fundamentally alters the economics of international tech employment. Companies now face a stark choice: absorb the cost, pass it on to clients, or rethink hiring strategies entirely. The immediate consequences include project delays and higher costs, pressure to hire domestically, talent mobility disrupted globally. Even within the US, universities, labs, and startups reliant on skilled international talent are preparing contingency plans. Research projects, cutting-edge development, and startup hiring pipelines all risk delays due to the fee, with potential long-term impacts on competitiveness. In the early days of September, the US Senate introduced the HIRE Act of 2025, or the Halting International Relocation of Employment Act. The bill is currently in the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee and has not yet been brought to a vote. The bill proposes a 25% excise tax on payments by US companies to foreign service providers for work benefiting American clients. In practical terms, this means that every time a US company outsources services internationally, a quarter of the payment could be directed to US federal coffers. Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio framed it in populist terms.
American jobs should be done by American workers. Companies that want to offshore at the expense of US employees will pay the price, and that money will go into training and empowering our people.
The HIRE Act also introduces tough compliance measures. Companies cannot deduct the tax as business expenses, loopholes via shell entities are blocked, and penalties for violations can reach 50% of the unpaid tax. While still a bill, not law, the HIRE Act adds a second layer of uncertainty to an already shaken global workforce. Firms across Asia, Europe, and North America now face strategic questions. Continue outsourcing at higher cost, move operations domestically, or invest in automation to reduce dependency on international labour. The combined impact of the $100,000 H-1B fee and the potential outsourcing tax could mark the largest reset in US tech labour relations in decades. Companies may accelerate local hiring, diversify international talent hubs, and increase investment in automation to manage costs. The human side of the story is equally significant. Thousands of highly skilled professionals face disrupted careers, stalled family plans, and uncertain futures. For the broader tech ecosystem, startups, research labs, and established corporations, the challenge is maintaining innovation and competitiveness while navigating sudden policy shifts. Even as the dust settles, the larger question remains: is this about protecting American jobs, or is it about reshaping globalization and the flow of talent, capital, and opportunity? For tech professionals, policymakers, and corporate leaders worldwide, the new H-1B rules and the HIRE Act serve as a stark reminder. International mobility, once a predictable pipeline for talent, can change overnight. If talent, jobs, and contracts can no longer move freely, who wins and who loses in the long run?